Not to be dramatic, but I truly believe that every single woman on planet Earth needs her own money. And I don't just mean for like luxury purchases or, the extra things. I mean, really her own money. I'm talking about for her peace, her power, and honestly, her freedom. Because the truth is, the moment that you don't have your own money, are in control of your own money, your options just start to shrink. Welcome back to the CEO of Me. I'm Angelica, and this podcast is dedicated to women who are learning and wanting to become in charge of their own life, their decision, and most importantly, their future. And on today's episode, this one is really, really personal to me, and it was something that was on my heart for the past couple weeks. So I was like, you know what? That's going to be my next episode. Because I've seen it, I felt it, I'm currently going through it with some people in my life. And I've had countless conversations with women who don't realize the importance of having their own money, or they realize it way too late and they have to stay in a situation that they don't want to stay in because they don't have their own money to get out. You don't realize how the lack of money really starts changing your decisions and your perception of the people that you are with. Most importantly, in a relationship. I think growing up, a lot of us are taught that love, security, money, all of those things are going to keep you safe and protected in a relationship. And naturally, those traits would take care of you. Like I hear it all the time. All I need to do is find a man that can take care of me and I'll be good. All I need to do is find a man who's financially stable and then I'll be good. If I'm in a relationship, then I'm safe. Everything's fine. Everything's good. And don't get me wrong. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with being taken care of. It is a beautiful thing to be financially stable without having to even worry about anything. That is beautiful. I'm not hating on that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But the flip side is not having any money at all. Like no control over money. And this may be a topic for another day, but financial abuse is a thing. So, yeah. But no one really talks about, well, not on the internet at least. Well, I'm sure someone is, but no one really talks about what happens when you can't take care of yourself. What do you do? Because that's when things really start to shift. When you don't have your own money, you start thinking twice about what you're going to say, how you're going to speak up, how you're going to share your opinion. You tolerate things that you probably normally wouldn't because it's not your money. It's not your house. It's not your car. Your name isn't on anything. You stay longer than you should. You move based on fear, not on choice. And that's the part that no one posts about. All these women that we see online that are definitely being taken care of. They're not working. They don't have their own money. They never want to post about that part of wanting to get out of a situation, but they financially can't because they probably haven't worked in the last 5 to 10 years, whatever it may be. They don't have a resume. They don't even know what it even means to pay a bill. They don't want to post about that, but you will see the beautiful Range Rovers, the G-Wagons, the beautiful house, the shopping sprees. You will see all of that, guaranteed. Because it's not always about someone controlling you financially. Sometimes it's just the quiet reality that if I leave, where will I go? If I leave, who's going to pay my bills? If I leave, how am I going to make money? If I walk away, how will I afford this lifestyle? And I want to make this very, very clear. This isn't about me wanting women to be hyper independent or acting like you don't need anyone. That's not true. That's not what this is at all. You can be in love. You can be in a healthy relationship. You can have a man that provides for you and wants to provide for you. There's nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is you can have all of that and still have your own money. You can have both. You can have a man that takes care of you, that loves you, you're in a healthy relationship, and still manage your own money the way you want. This is about a choice, not about survival. Just to make that clear. For me, having my own money, making it, managing it, all of that really made me show up differently in every other part of my life. It made me show up differently in relationships, in my business, in my dating, because maybe that's not obvious, but I'm definitely not in a relationship right now. But it showed up when I was dating. When I am dating. I'm not dating right now, but it shows up when I'm dating. Because when you know you're good, no matter what, you move differently. Like Lil Baby says, if she pays her own bills, she doesn't have to listen. He said it, okay? Not me. Because when you know you're good, no matter what, you make your own money, you manage your own money, you are surviving and have been surviving long before this person came about, you show up differently. You don't accept a lot of stuff. You don't settle. You don't do all the extra stuff, whatever that means for you. But you don't do all that because you know this person is not financially changing your life. They're not paying your bills. They're not doing anything. You're already doing it. So like if they come to you with some nonsense or whatever human beings like to do, but you know, when they come to you with some nonsense and you pay your own bills, you just let it roll right off your shoulder because you're like, and so my bills are X amount of dollars a month and you think I'm gonna be listening to you? Anyways, you don't accept the bare minimum. You don't stay in spaces that just don't feel right. Having your own money and controlling your own money allows you to have that confidence. And by your own money, I don't mean you need to be a millionaire. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying you are making your own money that is yours. It does not matter what the dollar amount is. It's yours. You made it. You keep it. It's in your account. You're managing it. That's what I mean. It's not about the amount. It's the ability. It's the fact that you can make your own money. And then if you want to take it up a notch, let's say you work for yourself or you work for a company and you have side hustles. That is incredible. That is proof in the pudding that you are able to make your own money. And not only that, but you're making multiple streams of income. That is so dope to be able to do that. That ability is what is going to keep you strong and keep you out of rooms and situations that you know you don't belong in. The ability to be able to make money regardless of what the ecosystem is, regardless of what you feel, regardless of who you're dating, regardless of anything, that is huge. And I hate that right now I feel like I'm hearing a lot of people of the opposite sex talking about how unattractive it is for a woman to be hyper independent. I've seen it so many times and I can't even lie. The people I'm seeing it from are younger men. Younger men are saying that women who are hyper independent is a turnoff because we don't need a man. And to them, in their eyes, if they are not needed, they don't feel like they serve a purpose in the relationship or they don't serve a purpose to date someone. And so a lot of men I'm seeing on the internet are saying like, I'm not looking for a woman who's independent. I want a woman to need me. But then when a woman needs him and wants to ask for help, ask for assistance, ask for money, you're a gold digger. So I don't know how we win. I don't know what the answer is, but it seems to be a little confusing, fellas. It's a little confusing. I'm not even going to lie. But you can't be too independent because that's a turn off and, you know, you won't need me as a man. But then if I'm not as independent and I need help and I ask you for help, I'm a gold digger. So honestly, ladies, be independent. Just be independent. Be hyper independent. Because the right man is going to find that extremely attractive. He's going to see a woman that is independent, that's built her own life, built her own career, takes care of her own bills. He's going to say, wow, that's the kind of partner I want. I want a woman that can bring home the bacon if she needs to and if she wants to. You want a man to be attracted by that, not to be turned off by that. You want a man to see your ability to make money as something that's attractive, not something that turns him away because, oh, you don't need me, so I don't have a purpose. Like, who came up with that? Who came up with that? I know it's young men, and that's what I'm saying. I've heard that a lot from these young boys saying, you know, hyper independent women are just a turnoff. And I'm like, since when? To boys, yeah, I can see how that's a turnoff because you can hardly take care of yourself. So when you meet a woman that is doing it all by herself, I can see that being a turnoff. But for a high value man, he wants a woman that is independent. So I heard. So I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. Because I don't know for sure. But I'm hoping. I hope that's how it is. Because I want a high value man. And I would hope that he sees my life and, where I've come and where I'm going as attractive and not as a turnoff. So honestly, ladies, the verdict is still out on that, but I'm still going to say that independent women will always be attractive. Being able to take care of yourself will always be attractive. Being disciplined will always be attractive. And being able to take care of yourself, all of that on the back end is just showing that you're disciplined and you care about your life and you care about where you're going. I don't see how that could be unattractive. Like, what? I don't get it. But yeah, your ability to make money is not unattractive. There will be a man that is going to love the way that you are. So as women, I think it's really important that even when you're in a relationship, that you find ways to have your own money, because you never know what is going to happen in the future with your relationship. I have clients, I have people that I work with, I have older women that are in their 50s and 60s that cannot leave an abusive relationship because they haven't worked in 5-10 years. They don't have a resume. They don't even know how they would get back into the workforce. And being in that position is scary. It's terrifying. It doesn't feel comfortable. And you kind of just start dreading every day of your life because you now are in this position where you have to stay with this man because you're financially dependent on him. That's my goal in life. When I started this podcast and when I actually started being on the internet and wanting to be on the internet, it wasn't just to post videos and possibly make money from this. No. The point of this was to show women that they can be independent and that they should try to be independent. That is the ultimate goal. I never want women to be stuck in a situation because they cannot afford to get out. That breaks my heart, and I see it and I hear it every single day. That is why I'm here. That is what this voice is for. That is why I'm here to share my journey of doing lashes and starting my business. All of that is to inspire another woman, to tell her, like, look, you can do it. If I can do it, you can definitely do it. Find your independence, find your power, find your confidence, because once you start having control over your own finances, whether that be in a relationship or not, you are going to become stronger and more confident, and you are not going to put up with half of the stuff that you're probably putting up with now. That's all I'm going to say. It's a really, really unfortunate time to hear that men are not attracted to women who are independent. I mean, that's none of my business. I don't care. I probably have never been attracted to that kind of man anyways. But I think it's a sad, sad time when, once again, men are trying to tear women down, saying, no, stay at this level. Stay reliant on me. Stay beneath me. Instead of saying, hey, you're really smart. You're really good at what you do. Make all the money. And I'll be here right beside you to put more money in the pot. Why not have 2 millionaires than one? I mean, make that make sense. Make that make sense. Why not have 2 millionaires in the family instead of just having one? Like, obviously, I understand the role that women play when you are a stay-at-home mom. I get it. My mom was a stay-at-home mom for a lot of my life, and I see the value in the mother being at home for a good chunk of time while the kids are growing up. I do see that value. But after that, and I think it's hard. It's so hard because I'm really independent now, and I can't imagine starting a family and then losing that independence because everything becomes about the baby. And I get it. I get that. But it's hard to think about, honestly. And that's why a lot of women probably aren't dating right now. And a lot of people aren't getting married. A lot of people aren't having babies. Like, The birth rate right now is extremely low. People just aren't having babies. And I think it's because this new era that we're in, women are a lot more independent. We're not depending on men anymore like we did in the 50s. Like, women are now bringing home all the bacon, even more bacon than the men. So it's like, I see it. I get it. And because it's really hard to lose your independence. It's really hard to give that up. And I think that's why dating in this age, at this age of 32, is extremely challenging, because I am so independent. And once you start dealing with men that you need to start taking care of, it's just, you're turned off. You're like, okay, never mind. I'd rather just be alone than be with someone that I have to take care of. Like, or teach them how to love me, or teach them how to take care of me. Like, whew, it's a hard time for us ladies. I know we're all feeling it. I know we're all in this together. I know we are all feeling it. But I believe that the more that we're independent and the stronger that we are, yeah, it's going to be hard to find a man that can keep up with that. But oh well, at least you know you have a partner that can contribute. Because it's so funny that I've heard so many men say the same thing, like I said earlier, that you don't want someone that's super independent because then they don't need you. But then, you know, when you have a woman that needs you financially and she's asking you for money all the time, I've heard men get tired of that. I've heard some of my friends that are in relationships, are married, and they're like, you know, my wife lost her job and, you know, she sits at home all day and, you know, she's always asking for money and blah, blah, blah. And they get tired of that. But isn't that what you wanted? You want a woman to need you, and you want a woman that really especially needs you. You know, now she's not making any money. So anyways, take your pick, guys. That's all I'm going to say. Take your pick. Which one do you want? Which one do you want? Let's get back to the topic. I totally went on a rant there, but let's go back to the topic of women being independent and making your own money and what that means and what that feels like. At the end of the day, obviously, money doesn't just buy things. I think we all understand that. Money gives you power, it gives you options, and it gives you opportunities. Not just nice and fancy bags and shoes and all that fun stuff, which I love, but that's not the purpose of making money, at least for me. At least for me. That's not the whole reason. That's not the reason. The options that money gives you also gives you freedom. Freedom to decide, freedom to leave, freedom to stay. That's what it does. So if no one has told you before, I will be the one to tell you. Have your own money. Keep your own money. I'm going to say it again. If no one has said this to you before, I will say it. Have your own money. I don't care how much money he makes. I don't care what he buys you. I don't care what he does. I do not care. I have seen way too many awful situations of women having to stay or leaving with nothing. Have your own money. Whatever that means. If that means you need to have a secret bank account or a secret stash or a P.O. box, whatever. Have your own money, babes. Please, 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 please do it. Because you never want to be in a situation where you have nothing and you gave this person 10, 15, 20 years of your life and you have nothing to show for it because you're walking away with $0. Maybe a Range Rover, maybe you got a Birkin, whatever. You're walking away with $0, just all the great things that he bought you. That's not fun. And you're not doing this to plan for something to go wrong. That's not the mental space we're in. That is not why you are saving money or having your own money. You are doing this because you deserve to always be able to decide what you want to do with your life. You want to be able to have that choice, and you deserve to have that choice. And that is what having your own money does. Not to plan for something to go wrong. That's not what we're doing, because that mindset will mean something will go wrong. We all know that the more you think about something, the more you accept it and you bring it into your life. So we're not doing it for that. It's just simply to have your own choice. And that's what being the CEO of your own life is all about. Making choices and having the choice yours as much as humanly possible. If this episode hit home for you or made you feel something, or you think your friend needs to hear this, send them this video. Tell them to subscribe, of course, and let them know that it's going to be okay. Let them know that they still have a choice and they still have options. Their life is not over. They can still change their life, change their decision, and change the way that they show up for themselves, especially financially. As always, I'm so happy that you're here with me. I enjoy this time that we get to spend together, and I hope I see you on next week's episode. As always, take care of yourself, love yourself, show yourself some grace, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.